Well, how's it going, Kingsman? Welcome back to another NTW3 battle. Today, we have another clan battle. This one is going to be using the Russian 1812 cores on Bladensburg. And I'm starting this right off the bat, guys. Literally just started because of the deployments here. You can see the Russians and French, at least one French army spawned right here with another one. Actually, one of the Polish armies right behind him with the other two in reinforcement. So the battle actually will start pretty quick here. And I expect we will see some action very quick. So obviously I don't want to miss any of it. But also we can go over the cores here. Now we are seeing the Napoleonics and RC clan playing against each other. The Napoleonics being the coalition and the RC being the imperial. Like I said, those cores, 1812 cores being brought on the French side. You have a 10-point Cav core. You have a 13-point Davout, a 9-point Polish, it looks like Poniatowski, and then 10-point Eugene, which is kind of like an Italy spin-off. So Italian and French troops in that mix. Looks like we have some Kazakis going to get charged up by the Polish Lancers. Scare them off here as this French army is being very aggressive right off the bat. Now on the coalition side, obviously we have all of the Russians here today. Excuse me. Still haven't totally recovered. We have a 10-point Tutushkov. You have the 12-point Bagration, of course, and then you have a 9-point Duktorov, and then Wittgenstein. Ooh, actually we have a little bit of a clash here. Looks like France is determined to hold all points of this combat. This is probably the Eugene or Davout. I won't be surprised if this is Davout here. Look at all this artillery. There's a nice gun battery placed up here. Infantry prepared to fight against the Russian masses. And looks like he's mostly holding this right-hand side here. Now the Russians, their big plan, I'm sure, is to push as aggressively as possible when they have only two imperial armies. Now remember, there is of course a reinforcing Polish army, and boy do they have the troops today. Now artillery pushing up, a lot of infantry, artillery. We'll see if Russia tries to go for a cav charge against the artillery. They're going to use their cavalry that they have. Looks like some dragoons are going to take on those Polish lancers. And that charge bonus for Poland is going to win them the day. You got to remember, guys, when it comes to cav charges, it's all the stats. All about stats. Oh, wow. Russia is pressuring on this side, pressuring the enemy as best they can, getting some skirmishers. I'm going to try to go for a general, trying to overwhelm the Polish potentially. Over on this side, you do see the French still forming up, have that gun battery in placement. We do still have a lot of Russians pushing across the river here in a mass, as that's going to be a very tough fight for who I can assume only is Davout. Now Russia has taken some losses when it comes to cavalry. Yeah, they've taken a couple losses here. But they are still... They gotta watch out here. Russia actually pushing up. Poland may have to rethink their strategy as Russia has gotten across the river. I'm very curious to see what France does here. This is a very risky play by France, sitting here and taking this fight. You can see Russia definitely getting hurt by this artillery. We will see if this is gonna end up playing well for France. But I mean, Russia's about to attack on multiple fronts. You can see they are pushing across the river. France is gonna try to hold this grove, inflicting heavy casualties. At least that should be their plan. You have a light infantry contingent. Actually, a lot of light infantry for this 9-point Duktorov. Some cavalry charging. My NTW3 senses are tingling. I knew it. See, man, how did I know they're about to charge? I just knew it. I'm just too good at this game. Okay, I'm too good at this game when it's... Okay, yeah, they're not going to do that. Artillery is ready to shoot them in the face. You saw one volley just hit them. These guys may charge into this gun. They would get shot. And artillery would have fired and shot them in the face. They may have to wait for the timing. But we do have Russia. They're going to go for the melee here, guys. And well-timed on that charge in between the volleys. France is going to be in trouble. And here we go. The cavalry going to go for those guns. Let's see if they make it. Oh, canister fires. And they do break. See, that's just a risky strategy there. Now, Russia is engaging in multiple points in the Russians' line. We have Poland pushing up to try to put pressure on this line as well. We'll see how well France can take this charge. I'm seeing Russia breaking a little bit. France is wavering. Cavalry now charging in, going to go for the Russian flank. Excellent charge. Poland also reinforcing that flank. They're threatening Russia's attack. But at the same time, guys, we have Tutushkov, who is going to threaten Poland. Remember, we do have a French Cav Corps pushing up as well. They should hopefully be in this fight sooner rather than later. Beautiful Cav charge going in on this French line. And France is in trouble. They do form square. But this initial French line of defense is breaking. Over here, you can see Russia's just rolling through. This is where I may want to cut my losses as France and try to pull back, save what's left of my army here. But Poland is committing, so maybe not so much. Now, we do have, unfortunately, artillery that got sniped. Poland's got to watch out for that flanking Russian army. The problem right now for the Imperials is that they are still piecemeal armies. There's only 2 still here, and Russia has all 4 armies all at once. More artillery getting charged. It looks like the Cav Corps is in play, though, for France. However, you can see this French line is starting to just fall back. The just absolute brutality of the mass of Russians is just telling. And Russia's just going to keep rolling forward here. We can start to see the French line pulling back. We do have Poland actually advancing in the center. Just a little bit, maybe. Same time, though, they can't get too greedy. His artillery is still very much alive. It won't be for very much longer, unfortunately. But when we look at the coalition side, things are going quite well so far. They have broken the initial French defense. Now, maybe, guys, just maybe this was not the 13-point. Maybe this was the 10-point Eugene. If that is the case, then the larger French army is still yet to make it, and the French can pull back even to this LSC, hold this line. It's maybe a losing battle at this point. Like I said, Poland, they're still going for this. Still pushing in. But you gotta remember, the Russian flank is starting to fold in as well, and on the left flank, you have Russia pushing in as well. Ooh, we have some more cavalry engagements. Oh, that's Russians. Never mind. I thought it was some French. We have some hussars trying to save the guns. France is trying their best to defend this line. Russia continually going for melee. France has pulled back a portion of their defensive line across the next ridge. But Poland is still stuck out here. Ooh, we have another cav charge. Man, everything's happening at once. Cavalry going on the Polish line. Poland seems determined to defend this line as best they can. I mean, keep in mind, they do have to pull back and try to save their lines as best they can. And we do have a lot of cavalry now from this Cav Corps.
The men are fatigued. Must rest a while.
And the Cav Corps is actually doing some mighty good work against Russia. However, Poland is looking a little bit messy here, being assaulted on multiple fronts at once. Grenadiers countercharge the Russian line. But Poland is starting to fold. Ooh, this is bad. They need some cavalry to save their flank.
Our men are running, sir.
Oh, more cavalry collapsing in on this Polish line, and the mass rout is starting to happen. And unfortunately, this is turning into a very landslide defeat for the Imperials so far. We'll see if Poland can save some of their army. A lot of French Cavs still running around, I think, trying to break down this Russian line. France is actually holding this flank quite well, considering the massive troops that are around them, and cavalry from France still running around trying to stop this center, trying to basically save as much of this French army as is humanly possible. We still have a French army. Where are they? Right here. So there's another French army sitting right here. Unfortunately, artillery is about to get braked, totally smacked around by the Kazakhs in the back lines. A beautiful snipe of artillery. This is a very sizable French army, guys. If they can get up into this front line, this whole battle can change here. I think, in hindsight, probably the French should not, at least Poland should not have pushed in so aggressively. I'm sure they were trying to save their ally. They may have benefited from just staying back and letting the French try to pull back their line as well. I mean, it's a tough ticket. It was tough for the RC. They were facing 4 armies pretty early on with only 2, or 1.5 armies technically, and that made things very difficult. Now, of course, the Polish are falling back. Russia's probably going to try to run down as many of these Polish troops as humanly possible to make sure they do not come back. And then they're going to keep trying to push, keep the advantage going before the reinforcements from France make it to this field. The Cav Corps is trying to save as much of this army as is humanly possible. You see Russia, though, is even pushing here. They can inflict heavy losses on the routing troops. It can be a lot more decisive win for them. They still have a Cav Corps. They still have 2 armies at least. And I'm assuming they've taken up, they've probably inflicted some heavy losses on, you know, some of this Russian army. They definitely have taken some losses now. Of course, Tutuchkov is pretty fresh, I would say, still.
Has fallen to the enemy.
If France can regain a little bit of those routing troops here, rest them up, and let the French kind of counterattack here, Russia will have to shift over, obviously, to face this French army. Maybe they can do something here, but things are not looking too hopeful for this French army. And the Russian tidal wave just continues to push. And we definitely had quite some heavy casualties. A lot of cavalry play, making this a very interesting fight. Now, we do have the French making a second stand here. They have horse artillery set up. They have their Cav Corps, which I'm assuming is trying to rest up. Obviously, this left flank is a big problem for the French. They may have to try to ignore it and push up on this right side. They have a lot of troops still in play, especially from the reinforcing French army. Next is Eugene, so Davout definitely was up in the front by himself. This is Eugene for sure. A lot of Italian lines. And Davout has been holding this river crossing as best he can. Odd place the general staff to hang out. Hanging out right in front of the artillery. What's happening here? How are they not dying to artillery? Let's see what the next coalition strategy is. Obviously, they're shifting Duktorov, Wittgenstein, or Steen, I'm not sure which it is. They're shifting over 2 armies to face against Eugene and Davout. They have Bagration and Tutuchkov pushing on the right side. Mostly they're going to be facing just a Cav Corps. They have to be a little cautious, obviously. The Cav Corps won't be able to take them on alone. But they got to be careful, obviously. They have to be very careful. There is a portion of either Eugene or Davout that is pushed over to defend this flank. France does have this LLC. They could try slowing him down. This is not a crazy Russian force, but it's enough to threaten the flank. We'll see what Eugene decides to do here in this situation. Now, the Russians do not have the cav advantage anymore. And in fact, if you see here, there is a cavalry force hanging out over here and actually harassing this Russian army. That could become a concerning attack to the rear of Russia as they're engaged in a line fight. Cavalry in the back is kind of concerning, and if you consider the fact that Tutuchkov is in danger of being sniped, although it looks like some Russian infantry are going to save him, not a good place to be. Now the next big push is happening here. Oh, the ambush from Hussars! Can you imagine being those Hussars just charging in? It's like the War and Peace episode, you know, they charge in, save their lines. Gonna collapse in with some Dragoons as well. All their cav kind of being committed in this line fight. Now we do have a square formed. Russia actually playing their cav well in this corner. They're going to get some, oh, this is some pretty good quality Dragoons from Russia, or from France. But we'll see if they get a nice flanking charge, break the French flank.
Our men are running.
Looks like Eugene's actually pushing up in melee, winning even on this line fight in the center. France seems to be regaining a little bit of control here, guys. Lag because of the infantry getting charged in the house. We do have, oh, France won. Wow, I wasn't sure if France was going to win that. Now, this flanking attack going decently well for Eugene, as his troops are quite fresh. Russia has a reserve from Duktorov and Wittgenstein. They can push them over to this flank. They could maybe use their cav. I guess I didn't check to see. The French cav is still here. Not super serious yet for this Russian army. You can see more from Bagration actually pushing over to help out because Russia's actually getting focused on this flank quite hard. They have a lot of artillery, so France is going to advance right into the guns, and they cannot afford to take those kind of losses. Oh, we have some Dragoons going right into the line. That was a misclick. Look at the counterattack. When France is like, you know what, we're not going down without a serious fight. Even if it is, you know, they lost the initial section of the fight, they seem to be doing a decent job of focusing this down. Dragoons charging in against these Dragoons from Russia, or Hussars actually. Russia going to try their best to hold. They still have a good amount of infantry. The artillery is going to start just absolutely shredding up this front line. France needs to ignore this and push around the flank only or pull back and let the flank work only. I mean, going against artillery is just crazy. Now, you can see France trying to hold as best they can using cavalry and infantry. And they have slowed down this Russian push. And keep in mind, guys, there is French cavalry in the back lines of Russia, so they have to be very cautious. They are putting their guns, though, all in this place. Man. Let's see if they can focus down this infantry. Canister is going to start just absolutely destroying this line. Oh my goodness, we have not a gen snipe. A artillery snipe, beautifully timed by the French cavalry in the flank. And they break that artillery. That is huge for this assault by France. Cavalry on the flank. These Gussaris do a beautiful job. All these grenadiers are going to break. Or they weren't even grenadiers. Looks like some light infantry. We do have France committing to a bayonet charge here in the center. Skirmishers slowing them down a little bit. But France is going to keep pushing. They kind of have to at this point. They've lost that LOC. They're going to pull back a little bit. They can use the horse artillery maybe to save a little bit of their line. The French cav in the back can still be crucial to France winning this fight. But the artillery is gone for Russia. Russia's actually putting up quite a salvo of small arms fire that's really starting to break this line. Nice cavalry charge on the flank. But Russia's going in for the bayonet and breaking the... They're going to commit the reserves.
Our men are running.
As Russia's actually going for a counterattack, we do have, I'm assuming, what is the Cav Corps charging in against the Russian line. Over on the flank, it does look like Russia's getting pretty close to collapsing this side.
Our men are running, sir.
Oh, it does appear that Eugene is going to start breaking here. Ooh. It's not good. That is a portion of not having a good cav charge, plus maybe multitasking and units shooting them in the face. You know, a bit of both. Kind of happens when you're having a huge melee, I'm assuming. We'll see these Cuirassiers can save the day. Doesn't seem like a super decisive charge here. Oh, they're tying up this whole line, though, with just cavalry. We do have a general that has been killed. That was Wittgenstein's general. France still trying to commit as best they can to this melee. It's mostly cavalry trying to carry this on. Ooh, that's a cool looking uniforms for these French Cuirassiers. I'm seeing France getting thrown back now, guys. The left flank is just Tutuchkov shooting up this little section of France that is trying to defend and hold back. What's left of this French army is kind of in the center mostly. There's a little bit of cavalry in the flank with a couple units left. I think this is going to be a win for the coalition, for the Napoleonics.
The men are fatigued, sir, and must rest a while.
France is still fighting as best they can, though. Give them credit for that. This was a tough scenario for the Imperials, in my opinion. I wonder if the French had been able to have their entire army with them in the very beginning, how it would have played. Kind of curious. Ooh, some cavalry charging in. Looks like France is going for that counter attack here. Going against the light infantry. Russia counters the charge. This other unit, unfortunately, getting shot up as they're charging it. Oh, look at these guys. They're dropping left and right. They're not going to make it. It was a brave effort. Oh, even more cavalry charging in the flank. The Cav Corps has done quite a bit of work considering, actually, guys. I'm curious to see how many kills they got. I feel like they did quite well considering everything, you know?
The entire unit is dead, sir.
We do have the last of the French, like, mostly defeated. And France is just pulling back. There's too much time to really consider an LOC victory. Looks like some Polish did come back, though. But LOC victory probably is not going to be feasible. It's too early on. There's plenty of time. Time for the coalition to be able to react to any LOCs the French try to grab. Yeah, it looks like the French are still holding this section.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Oh, these Hussars are getting some kills. France is back across the river. I'm assuming they're going to maybe try the long game. We look at LOCs and lines of communication, guys. I mean, they hold this road, they can go up here and hold that one, or this one. Or they could run around and actually take on this three-pointer and cut off all lines of communication, and then they would actually have the majority of the points. So who knows? Who knows actually what would happen? But I think the coalition have a pretty clear victory here at this point. Passport bunks look like the French are falling back just a little bit here. Horse artillery actually is remobilized. See, the French are not going without a fight, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. They're pulling back, trying to reconsolidate. Maybe they're gonna try to go for a one last resort. You know, who knows? Who knows what they're actually gonna end up trying to do? They're probably resting up cavalry as best they can. The general staff in the tree line as well. Russia's going to try to catch them if they can, which I'm sure they can start to. They have L4s actually. This core that the coalition's playing is actually rather fun to play. All the Russia, you know, just every Russian. You have some good infantry. It's not like amazing to where you don't have to play well, but if you play them right, it's a very fun core to play. And the same for the Imperial side as well. Both of these cores, I mean, yeah, the video I posted yesterday is my favorite cores by far, but this is pretty cool as well, but not doesn't hold a candle in my opinion. Not as much fun as those cores yesterday. The 4th or was it 5th coalition. But anyway, guys, we have an attack. I'm not sure if we have an attack or if they're consolidating for LOCs. If that is the case, I will skip to the next point at which there's a fight, but I think we may have Russia forming up for an engagement here against Eugene's troops. We have a cavalry column, though, between the infantry, so we're probably going to see the chart. Man, I love these uniforms. And these usually are like Russian uniforms, so I'm not sure what they're supposed to be, but they're the best looking ones. If I were to be across the air, yeah, this would be it. This looks so good with the gold engraving, black breastplate. That does look like we're gonna have a committed cav charge here. Don't know how well it's gonna go. Oh, they have a square. Oh, that'll be the end for that cavalry unit, unfortunately. Or maybe not. Maybe they can pull back in time. Took some pretty heavy losses. Here we go. You can see all along the board the Russians are pushing it very aggressively, trying to seal the deal. And I think this is the end. Yeah, probably the French are just going to commit to their last and final stand here. But well played. Like I said, it's a tough one for the French. They had to make a crucial decision. Having one unit deploy here, one deploy here, and then 4 enemy armies deploy here. You either fall back and have 2 armies try to defend this area and buy more time for your allies to get up.
We have killed their general, sir.
Or
they must break.
You do what they did, which is try defending as long as they can, let the counterattack happen. Unfortunately, I think they were outnumbered. And then they didn't pull back in time. Especially, I think Poland didn't pull back. Actually, Davout seemed to save a decent chunk of his army once he was getting attacked. But there's the battle here, guys. This was sent in by Wittgenstein. You can see his infantry got quite a decent amount of kills here. Not an insane amount. Not an insane amount. But let me pull up the results here, guys, so you guys can see. So as we see on the Russian side first, we have Arjans. He was playing as a 12-point Bagration. He got 14-19 for the kills. Casual, who was playing as the Wittgenstein. I apologize if I was butchering that. You know, what you get when you watch my videos. I feel like I have to say that every time. Sorry, guys. But he got 15-37 for the kills. Isaias was 10-point Tuchkov, got 12-03. Then Nate Devourer, he was the 9-point Duktarov, got 10-79. On the other side, you have Al. He was playing the 13-point Davout, 12-26 for the kills. TT Ross as the Poland 9-pointer, 6-83. Bring back Militia. He was playing the 10-point Eugene, got 8-49. And then you have Peter Bagration playing as the Cav Corp. My apologies. The Murat Cav Corp. He got 921 for the kills. Hey, a Cav Corps, not bad. Not bad at all. 921 for the kills. That's solid. I think that's some pretty solid kills for Cav Corps. I usually see like 600, 700 kills maybe. So, well played. Well played. And, yeah. So, a victory for the Napoleonics. And that's the battle, guys. So, thank you all so much for joining me. Hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, you guys stay safe. Have a great rest of your day. And I will catch you all in another video.